Hello and welcome to the Cryptid Iceberg, where I cover animals that science doesn't recognize. As always, previous parts will be in the description. During his time in Guinea, naturalist Owen Burnham saw the remains of an animal known as the Tane Kong. It's described as a smaller zebra with canine tusks. They're said to live in the mountainous forested regions of the country. Besides Owen's, there are no other known sightings. In 1959, three boys saw a strange reptilian humanoid by the Charles Mill Reservoir in Ohio. It was described as about 7 feet or 2 meters tall, with webbed feet, glowing green eyes, and no arms. After they fled it, local investigators found tracks in the area resembling skin diver footwear. It was only ever sighted again in 1963, after which Loren Coleman investigated. He said that it was certainly a good home for a black lagoon beast. The Queensland Tiger is a large big cat from the rainforests of Queensland, Australia. It's described often as about 5 feet or 1.5 meters long, with stripes and large paws. The tiger is also sometimes said to have fangs, which is consistent with the wargle, another big cat Australian cryptid. Reports of the tiger date back to 1871, when a young boy and his dog chased one up a tree before fleeing. Early Australian explorers recorded stories of these tigers from Aboriginals in the area. Sightings of the tiger have continued into the 21st century. An unfortunate note for the cryptid is that there are multiple accounts of them being killed for being pests. Since they weren't regarded as important, the carcasses of the tigers were discarded instead of being preserved. Named after German zoologist George Steller, Steller's sea cow was a large sirenia native to the Bering Strait near Alaska. Unfortunately, the sea cows were hunted to extinction around 1768. However, there have been sightings even centuries after they supposedly went extinct. Most of these sightings are by Alaskan or Russian fishermen in the area. Since they've never been captured, it's disputed as to whether they're out-of-place elephant seals, surviving Steller sea cows, or yet undiscovered subspecies. There have been sporadic reports of the survival of the Sabertooth Cat in North America. One report comes from Arizona, where in 1913, 2 saber-toothed cats were allegedly shot by U.S. cavalrymen. Another sighting was reported in 1946, along a deserted mountainous road in New Mexico. The barmanow is a bipedal primate from northern Pakistan. The creature is said to mostly live in the mountainous areas of the region. It's been described as human-like in behavior, kidnapping people and wearing animal skins. According to eyewitness reports collected by zoologist Jordy Magriner, these sightings most closely resembled Neanderthals. The Ting Vor, or snake-eating cow, is an alleged type of cow native to Cambodia and Vietnam. The existence of the animal was first proposed after an unusual set of horns were found in a Vietnamese market. However, DNA testing on those horns hasn't shown evidence of a new species. The name snake-eating cow comes from stories of the vor eating snakes. According to legend, these snakes would bite the horns of the vor, and when hunters shot the vors, they would use the horns for an antivenom. The mono grande, or large monkey, is an upright primate reportedly from South America. Some of the oldest reports claim the cryptids are capable of building structures, and prone to eating humans. They may be connected to other large primates in the area, like the Vasitri. The Zing Zing is a cryptid reportedly from the Himalayan mountains. It's said to be a primate resembling an orangutan, and can grow to about 10 feet or 3 meters tall. There's not a lot of information about it, but it may be related to the legendary Yeti. The Guia Wu, or Lake Tianchi monster, is a Chinese cryptid from Lake Tianchi. It was first sighted back in 1903, when it was said a buffalo-like creature rose from the lake. It then attacked people, before it was driven back with firearms. Later sightings describe a long-necked creature similar to a seal, with a white ring around the neck. It was even supposedly recorded back in 2006. Named after Walgren Lake in Nebraska, the Walgren Lake monster is a cryptid with varying descriptions. Some say it's an alligator-like animal with a single horn in the middle of its head. Other sightings describe it as a large catfish or salamander. Like many American cryptids, proponents of the monster's existence trace it back to Native American legends. Early reports from the 1900s describe it as so large that it shook the ground. The Black Demon is a large shark said to live off the coast of Mexico's Baja Peninsula. The name Black Demon comes from the dark coloration the shark is said to have. The shark is said to be anywhere from 20 to 60 feet or 6 to 20 meters long. Between 1930 and 1934, marine biologist William Beebe went on expeditions into the deep sea off the coast of Bermuda. He made these treks in a submersible called the Bathysphere. As the craft made its way deeper into the ocean, Beebe spotted 5 new fish species. These were the giant dragonfish, which resembled a dragonfish yet was about 6 feet or 2 meters long, which is far larger than any known species of dragonfish. The 3-starred anglerfish, which had a flattened mouth instead of the anglerfish's usual underbite. Additionally, it had 3 of the anglerfish's distinctive bioluminescent lights instead of 1. The 5-lined constellation fish was a 6-inch or 15-centimeter long fish with 5 lines of small bioluminescent lights running along its body. The pallid sailfin was about 2 feet or 0.6 meters long and was described as elongated, pale, and with long vertical fins. The abyssal rainbow gar was a thin 4-inch or 10-centimeter fish with a red head, blue body, and yellow tail. Likely due to the fish being sighted between 15 to 25,000 feet or 450 to 750 meters deep, they haven't been sighted again. The Skrimsl is a freshwater lake monster reported throughout western Iceland. It's said to rock and even overturn boats. One account from 1595 described people seeing a monster as big as a house travel at high speeds along a river. It was said to have the head of a sea hound, with spines running along its back. The most recent sighting comes from 1862, where a family had seen a creature estimated to be about 46 feet or 14 meters long rise out of the water, with a head looking like a seal. The Yampikia yawa is a cryptid feline from South America. All we know of it is that it had some type of unusual fur. In 1965, 2 men took a submersible called the Alvin into the waters off the coast of the Bahamas. While about 5,000 feet or 1,500 meters deep, they spotted a large creature in the depths. It was described as a thick body with flippers, a long neck, a snake-like head, and 2 eyes. The Alvin Sea Serpent was about 50 feet or 15 meters long, potentially even longer. Both men on the vessel confirmed the sighting, though without proof, they weren't taken seriously. One of the men was later contacted by a scientist who showed him a drawing of a plesiosaur. He said that it was exactly what he saw. Faihu, which translates roughly to flying tiger, is a cryptid sighted in Guangxi, China. It has a bat-like wingspan that can reach around 30 feet or 9 meters long. Covered in brown and yellow fur, the Faihu allegedly waits in bushes to ambush passerbys and drink their blood. The year was 1903, when Van Meter, Iowa was visited by a strange creature. The Van Meter visitor had strange bat-like wings, an awful stench, and a beam of light shooting from its forehead. It was said to be about 9 feet or 3 meters tall. Gunfire seemed to have no effect on the creature, which was often spotted perching on buildings. Some sightings describe it having a smaller companion. Eventually, the creature disappeared into a nearby coal mine. Sporadic sightings of a bat-like creature in the area have continued, though most sightings stopped after 1903. The dodo was a small flightless bird native to the island of Mauritius before its untimely extinction in the 1600s. While the dodo has become a symbol for extinction in the centuries since, there are some reports of the bird surviving. According to journalist Lawrence G. Green, natives of Mauritius told him that there were pockets of surviving dodos in caves on the island, as late as the 1930s. In the 1960s, the Shell Oil Company was exploring the waters off the west coast of the United States when they spotted something odd. Their underwater robot named Mobot spotted a 15-foot or 6-long animal moving in a spiral motion. Whatever the creature was, it disappeared into the ocean and remains unclassified. In 1912, 2 men fishing on the Delaware River were attacked by a large lizard. The 2 men eventually managed to kill the beast before hauling it away for inspection. Despite having the body, locals were unable to identify what it was. Although it was described as looking similar to an alligator, alligators don't usually go that far north, and locals didn't identify it as one either. It was theorized to be a giant, older lizard by some fishermen. Others declared it similar to reports of the Jersey Devil that had happened several years earlier. The body of the creature was supposedly preserved, which I covered in my Cryptid Lost Media video if you'd like to hear more about that. The Longneck is a type of sea serpent and lake monster reported across the world. The Longneck is named after the distinctive long neck of the creature. It's also usually described as having fins. The Longneck is usually theorized to be a surviving plesiosaur or a type of seal. Shoutout to Michael Schemmel, the Cryptid Archive Wiki, Legitimate Pianist, Ears, ThunderbirdPhoto.com, Raven Heather, Raven Days, Equarep, Chris, Skunk, Mega Alakazam, and James Margit for their support. If you'd like to be featured in the credits of my videos and get access to exclusive rewards like the Cryptid map, you can support me on Patreon. If you'd like to help out, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'm also in 2 Discord servers if you're interested, one a personal Discord and another for cryptozoology. Temporary links to both will be below. My other social media pages will also be in the description. I'm also going to put a link to the Cryptid Lost Media Iceberg Parts 1 and 2. That's all for this video. I will see you in the next one.